Hello and welcome everyone. I am Kelley Griggs, and I'd like to welcome you this afternoon. I understand you'd like to know a little bit about my life here in Rochester. Well, I was born in 1853 in New York. My father, who was also a native New Yorker, was named Oliver Hazard Perry, after a famous war hero from the War of 1812 during the Battle of Lake Erie. When I was a small boy, our father moved us to Michigan, where he became a farmer in Avon Township. As I grew into a man, I took a job as a hired hand at a grain elevator in Metamora, Michigan. This job proved to be fortuitous for me on two counts. One, I learned the market of grain sales and produce sales literally from the ground up. Second, I met Miss Maddie Kidder, who was a school teacher in the area that consented to be my wife. Well, after earning enough money at the grain elevator in Metamora, I earned enough money to stake my claim in a business here in Rochester. I rented some land from the railroad that had just come through, and I had designed a grain elevator to go next to that land. My brother Albert was the largest contributor to the grain elevator, and him and I established our business in 1880 at the foot of 5th Street, or at the railroad. Now, I've been told that some of you that don't work the land don't know quite how a grain elevator works, so let me explain. When a farmer takes his harvest of wheat or corn or whatever, he wants to get the highest price possible, garner the highest wages. So he might want to lay it by for a while. And this is precisely done in a grain elevator. He brings his crop to the elevator where it is stored until the price is to his liking. Now the farmer will bring his grain to the elevator and load it in a hopper that's in the ground. There, a series of pulleys and buckets will raise the grain up into the top of the elevator where it'll be stored. Then a train will come by that wishes to purchase the grain, and it's loaded from the elevator. Now a farmer may want to get his money earlier, so he'll sell it to the proprietor of the grain elevator, and then I'll reap the highest price possible for it in my judgment. Now we owned the elevator, my brother and I, until 1900, where we sold to our associate, Mr. Letts. Now I associated with Mr. Letts even after the sale of the grain elevator on several enterprises here in the Rochester area. You may have heard that my death was rather untimely. My death was caused by the interurban coach that traveled up and down Main Street. One day, Mr. Letts and I were meeting in my office on the second floor of the building on the southeast corner of 5th Street and Main Street. You folks probably call it the Christman Building right now. Anyway, we decided to adjourn our meeting to the bar of the hotel across the street. Well, as we were making our way across the street, I became somewhat preoccupied with what I was doing, and I didn't see the interurban coach coming my way. So it dealt the fatal blow. I died the next day. Now, I don't tell you this story to shock you, and I don't tell you this story to have your sympathy for me. I use it merely as a cautionary tale because as you all go and see my dear friend Mrs. Vanderventner, I wish that you would keep track of the traffic and be aware of the traffic in your area so that you do not have the same demise that I did. Ladies and gentlemen, I bid you a good afternoon.